Vietnam Chronicles. Introduction. For over 1,000 years under foreign rule, Vietnam never bowed its head. A small nation, yet one that has written glorious chapters in history, defeating some of the most powerful invaders the world has ever known. From the resounding victory at Dien Bien Phu, which shook the 5 continents, to the great triumph of spring 1975, each battle stands as a testament to patriotism, resilience, and an indomitable spirit. Join Vietnam Chronicles as we turn back time, uncovering great wars, immortal heroes, and untold stories of a nation that has endured, where history is not just written in words, but engraved in blood and pride. Begin your journey with Vietnam Chronicles now. Vietnam's history is an endless epic, written with the blood, sweat, and unwavering loyalty of its people. Despite enduring over 1,000 years of domination, the Vietnamese never abandoned their dream of freedom. Invaders came and went, but the unyielding spirit of this nation has remained eternal. From the earliest uprisings against northern rule to the resounding victories over the Song, Nguyen, Ming, and Qing dynasties, Vietnam has stood its ground against all odds. And in the 20th century, this nation became a symbol of courage on the world stage, stunning the globe by defeating 2 military superpowers of the era, France and the United States. The Battle of Dien Bien Phu, 1954, one of the greatest military triumphs of the 20th century, where the Vietnamese army and people achieved the impossible, defeating France's elite expeditionary forces and forcing them to sign the Geneva Accords, ending nearly a century of colonial rule in Indochina. The world called it a victory that shook the 5 continents and stunned the entire globe. For the Vietnamese, it was the ultimate proof of their unwavering determination. The Vietnam War, 1955-1975, a 20-year struggle that tested the patience and unity of an entire nation. Through the strategy of People's War, the Vietnamese forces launched the historic Ho Chi Minh Campaign, liberating the South and reunifying the country in 1975. A small nation had accomplished what few others could, defeating the most powerful superpower of the time, forcing the United States to withdraw in defeat. These victories were not just military achievements, they symbolized the resilience of a people fighting for their homeland. Vietnam's success did not come from superior weaponry or abundant resources, but from the burning patriotism, the determination to fight, and the strategy of total resistance, by the people, for the people, relying primarily on their own strength. No victory came easily. Every inch of reclaimed land was paid for with the sweat, blood, and sacrifice of ordinary but extraordinary individuals. Yet Vietnam's history is not just about warfare. It is a vast cultural treasure trove, home to ancient traditions, legendary figures, migrations, integrations, and continuous development. Beyond the battlefield, Vietnam has flourished in art, literature, science, and philosophy, embodying the profound wisdom of Eastern civilization. Vietnam Chronicles was created to tell these stories, the untold tales, the forgotten legends, and the everlasting victories that have carried Vietnam through thousands of years of history. This is not just a place to remember the past, but a bridge for today's generations to understand their roots, learn from history, and appreciate the extraordinary strength of their nation. War is long gone, but the echoes of its past still resonate in the hearts of generations. More than 40 years since Vietnam's reunification, the nation has not only risen from the ashes, but has transformed into a dynamic and emerging economy, a rising star on the global stage. From a war-ravaged land, Vietnam has demonstrated its indomitable resilience. Once devastated fields have turned into industrial zones bustling with life. Streets that once bore the scars of war now shine brightly, alive with energy and opportunity. Rising economy. In 1986, Vietnam was one of the poorest countries in the world, but today it has become one of the fastest-growing economies in Asia. With a GDP of over $476.3 billion in 2024, a 7.09% growth rate, and an export value exceeding $405.53 billion, Vietnam has firmly established its place in the global economy. Key industries such as electronics, technology, textiles, agriculture, and tourism have propelled the nation forward. Once remote villages have transformed into industrial hubs, attracting major global corporations. Vietnam is no longer just a manufacturing center. It has become an essential part of the world's supply chain and a promising investment destination. Global player Vietnam's success isn't just economic, it extends across various fields. The Human Development Index, HDI, has steadily increased, with significant improvements in education and healthcare. The average life expectancy has surpassed 75 years, reflecting a better quality of life for the Vietnamese people. Major cities like Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, and Da Nang have become centers of innovation, seamlessly connecting with the global economy. From once being isolated after the war, Vietnam has emerged as an active member of the United Nations, ASEAN, APEC, and other international organizations. Free trade agreements with Europe, the US, Japan, and South Korea have opened new opportunities, allowing Vietnam to integrate deeper into the global economy. Lessons from history: nothing is impossible. Looking back at the past 40 years, the most important achievement isn't just the impressive statistics, the towering skyscrapers, or the bustling modern cities. Vietnam's greatest success is its lesson of resilience, unity, and the determination to rise. Small country does not mean it is destined to be weak. Vietnam, though small, has achieved extraordinary feats. Great power does not always guarantee victory. History has proven that even against the world's strongest military forces, Vietnam triumphed through intelligence, patriotism, and the unwavering unity of its people. Most importantly, the true strength of a nation lies not in its advanced weaponry or massive armies, but in the unity of its people. It was the unbreakable spirit and determination to never surrender that allowed Vietnam to endure and emerge victorious through every challenge. The end of war does not mean the end of our struggle. Today, Vietnam faces a new battlefield, the battle for economic growth, education, and technological advancement. And in this journey, the country's heroic past will always serve as a guiding light, inspiring the present and future generations to push forward. The journey of this nation never stops. Join Vietnam Chronicles as we continue uncovering untold stories, historical mysteries, and invaluable lessons from the past. History is not just something to remember, it's something to understand, to cherish, and to use as a foundation for building the future. Thank you for being part of Vietnam Chronicles. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to explore more incredible stories about Vietnam's history, culture, and people.